The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
The Revolution with Juan McCartney is sponsored by Advantage Insurance, Burger King, C-File, Commonwealth Bank, Fidelity Bank Bahamas, the Fincastle Media Group, Island Pay, J.S. Johnson, Marco's Pizza, NUA Insurance Agents and Brokers, and Ron's Electric Motors.
Good afternoon, Bahamas, and welcome to the Revolution here on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM. My name is Juan McCartney. So good to have you with us. All right, we got a lot going on today. We're going to talk about a few different things, some things you can help me with. Also, you can call me today. I should be able to hear you. I was able to hear the feed just now, although the music was coming in and out. But I could hear the voices pretty good. So you can also call me if you've been trying to call me over the past couple of days or you wanted to call me about something, feel free to do so. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. You can also text me at 422-4796, 422-4796. All right, we got some important things to talk about today, but we also don't want to ignore the elephant in the room, per se. Been doing this for a long time in media. You always want to be careful about what you're putting out there, making sure that you got all your stuff together. But also, there sometimes can be a tendency to go overboard in trying to leave things alone because you're not quite sure legally how it's all going to shake out. I'm, of course, talking about the police investigating matters regarding water and sewage, the police seizing equipment from several businesses on Long Island that are said to be connected to Long Island MP Adrian Gibson. This has come from the police, is why I mention it. This is not just hot gossip on the airways. I don't want to get into the meat of all of that today, but I'm not going to ignore that it's happening. The police are indeed investigating matters at the Water and Sewage Corporation, and the police are investigating some linkages to some businesses that Adrian Gibson is allegedly tied to on Long Island. This stems from contract awards, apparently, and it also stems from a report the Water and Sewage Corporation made. So in media and in defamation law, there's something called libel, okay, when you can accuse someone of criminal activity, immoral activity that could border on criminal, that could damage their reputation. But there's also something called fair public comment. So I don't want to be a lunatic dancing around libel laws and make myself look crazy, but I'm not going to just go out here and cast aspersions on somebody without any proof or facts. So fair commentary is this. Ramona Farguson is Adrian Gibson's lawyer. Ramona Farguson is being attributed and quoted by Eyewitness News as discussing where the investigation is and what the police are looking for from Mr. Gibson. So there's no sense in shutting down fair comment. I'm not going to take any and everybody's just wild aspersions or conjecture, but the fact of the matter is his lawyer is speaking. The fact of the matter is we did speak to police, and they said that there's an investigation that involves numerous people and involves some businesses on Long Island and involves some Water and Sewage Corporation matters. All right. So we're not going to play crazy like something's not happening and we're willfully ignorant of it. At the same time, we're not going to just go ahead and shoot out any and everything about Adrian Gibson, because in this country, you're innocent until you're proven guilty. All right. He's not been charged with anything as far as we're aware. The attorney says that the police do want to speak with him, and that is a matter of significance. Okay. There are 38 sitting members of parliament that the police will say, or that one of their lawyers will say the police want to speak with them regarding an investigation, is significant. I'm not Eyewitness News, but Eyewitness News spoke to Ramona Farquharson. I have no reason to believe that they would have fabricated this interview, although I do not work for them. I cannot swear for them if anything and everything is accurate throughout. But certainly Eyewitness News is saying that they have information about a detention order for vehicles connected to Adrian Gibson. And they've spoken with Ramona Farquharson Seymour, who is Adrian Gibson's lawyer at last report. And she's saying quite a bit about where the police investigation is and what's been taken and what the police have said to her. All right. So not for kicks and for fun, but because this is a very serious matter of national import, we're just going to go with what we know so far, and we'll continue following it as it goes along. All right. Like I said, I don't want to drift into anything that could defame anybody, but this is just fair public commentary. His lawyer is speaking. The police have spoken with us. His lawyer has detailed certain things. We will be trying to get him throughout the course of the day. His lawyer says he's currently out of the country, and we're going to continue to follow this story. Okay, now, the Prime Minister has said that they're not trying to deal with anything as far as influence over the probe into water and sewage goes. So again, we know there's a water and sewage probe. The Prime Minister has confirmed it. The chairman of the special consultant to the Water and Sewage Corporation, Loretta Butler Turner, she has confirmed it. By the way, I don't know if I ever sent up my condolences to Mrs. Butler Turner on the passing of her husband. I'm very, very sorry to have heard that. I know I'm weeks late, but I'm very sorry to have heard that. He was a great person every time I encountered him. And certainly his wife is an awesome person as well. So there's something going on with the Water and Sewage Corporation, and it involves Adrian Gibson. Okay? And that's fair public commentary. That much I'm prepared to defend in IRCA, and otherwise. So we're going to have to see how that shakes out and what this all means. It is not something small when the lawyer of a sitting MP says that the police have contacted her to speak with him or her about an investigation. Okay? So as a matter of being a national newspaper of record and Guardian Radio keeping up with current affairs, we want to let everyone know that we're aware of certain things that are happening. We don't have all the information as yet. Mr. Gibbs has been charged with no crime, but that the police are seeking to speak with him is a very serious national matter. Again, I would not have jumped out in front and said we're going to stand by whatever, like Michael Pintard did. And my people on the inside tell me that there's a deal of regret that is behind him saying that, because there were several people, as I understand it recently, had a leadership meeting. They have leadership meetings with the parliamentary caucus on Tuesday mornings, is my information. And during the leadership meeting, it was expressed by several people to Michael Pintard that they don't believe that is the position of all in the party, particularly among the leadership. Now, only the leader of the party and only the chairman of the party are authorized to speak on behalf of the party, according to custom and possibly the FNM's constitution. But that's not a widespread sentiment within a lot in the FNM. We're going to just stand by someone no matter what occurs. They want to actually see what is happening and what information is going to surface. All right? So we'll keep you posted on whatever we can find out, but it's beyond the point of hearsay. It's beyond the point of complete conjecture. There is something going on. There's a police investigation going on into matters that occurred at the Water and Sewage Corporation, which is a government corporation. And there's activity on Long Island in businesses claimed to be connected to Adrian Gibson. Eyewitness News is reporting that they have seen a detention order for vehicles. And Ramona Farquharson, who is Adrian Gibson's lawyer, said that police have been in contact with her. They have already requested to speak with Adrian Gibson, and he is out of the jurisdiction at the moment. All right. So, again, he's not been charged with anything that we're aware of. He's innocent until proven guilty, but that there's an investigation is a matter of national importance. All right. And we don't want to disregard that. So that's where I am with that. I'm not interested in all the hearsay and the rah and all the political shenanigans and back and forth about it. I just wanted to put that out there to say that we are dealing with it, and I don't want to have a discussion about something that I'm not 100% clear on what's backing it. And it's going to be a tricky process from here on out, because certain things will either be sub judice or not, and certain things will either be entered into the court system or not. And you'll have to navigate carefully how you talk about all of it. But I don't think it's wise or sensible to act as if these things are not happening when they clearly are. All right. So we don't got to field calls on it. You don't have to send me a million texts about it. Just know that we're looking at it and we're waiting to see what the developments are. But it's not a jokey matter at this point. It's not what might possibly occur type story at this point. It's a story that says there's an investigation going on and a sitting member of parliament is part of it. Okay? And we'd be remiss to just flat out ignore that. I'm not going to do it. But I'm also not going to drift into conspiracy about it either. We'll see what happens. Okay. I often ask for help with things because I don't always understand everything that I'm looking at. So I want people to help me. And we're going to talk about the food program. We're going to talk about Pintard's response. I don't know if we need to talk about Menace's response. He says he hasn't even read the report, and then he's shooting off, I guess. I haven't read the entire report, but I read enough of it to at least comment on it. And we can talk about the royal visit as well. All right. I definitely want to try to get into some more of those things. And we're also looking at some things that I'm hearing about the budget, et cetera, coming up. But before I get into any of that, I need some clarity on some things. And I'm being serious about this. All right. Because I don't pretend to understand everything, particularly when it deals with humans and their various emotional and physical responses to life as it occurs. There's a domestic violence issue in our country. It involves women being violent toward men, but it chiefly involves men being violent toward women. I know I'm not going to sit here and go, women don't do anything, they're just fine, and no one has ever hurt a man or touched a man or been domestically violent toward a man. That would be false. But I'm also not going to sit here and engage in whataboutism or equivocation as if this problem is spread out equally among men and women. But I will say this, there's an issue going on and I don't understand it. I don't know that anyone could be made to understand domestic violence, violence among adults, dispassionately. I don't know if you can lay out the facts of a circumstance and be like, well, clearly A warranted B, right? So we look at the killing of Nellie Brown. She was romantically involved with a man, and he thought that she was having an affair. Whether that was the case or not, we don't know. But because of his belief in that, he took a machete and killed her with it. And looking on paper, I can't draw from I'm having a relationship with this woman. Whether you're spending your money, whether you believe you are in love with this woman and you want to marry this woman, as Prince Hepburn said he loved Nellie Mae Brown, and he wanted to marry her. They were still both legally married, as far as I'm aware, but that never stopped anyone from falling in love. He believed that she was having an affair, and so he took a cutlass and killed her. All right? He hacked her to death. There's no understanding that I can wrap my head around with that. Now, granted, I haven't been in that situation, and knowing myself, I may think that I would act a certain way or do a certain thing, or even I might be the mature one and go, well, okay, I'll have a very clinical, emotional reaction to it. Well, I guess she doesn't want me. That's fine. No problem. I've invested my time and my money and everything. And, rationality will always govern me. But I know that's not always the case with humans because, you don't know how you might react. You try, and you try, and you try, and you try. All right. Yeah, we're going to talk about the Prince William visit. That ain't no bunch of money. They paid a bunch. Anyway, let me stop. I'll get to it. I haven't tested out of the COVID self-isolation, and I'm going to go get that tested today. I understand the free testing centers are booked out. But I'm willing to pay. I'm willing to pay for an antigen. I ain't paying for no more PCR. I was supposed to have a doctor's appointment this week, and I told them, we had COVID, and they're like, you got to bring a negative PCR test to come in. And I was like, Playboy, I can catch you next month, all right? I ain't dropping no next $150. It ain't going to happen. I done spent a gang of money around here dealing with COVID testing, the government offering free COVID testing, and that's where we are. I'm going to go pay for mine right today because I need to get the hell up out of quarantine. My daughter needs to go back to school. My son's in virtual. I haven't been able to go to the gym, and I'm not gaining weight, but I feel like I'm spiraling. So I'm going to try to figure that out. All right. So again, I want to talk about these issues and not to bring up Prince Hepburn and Nellie Mae Brown Cox specifically. She does have family still out here. He still has family out here. He is serving, he will be in jail for the rest of his life unless he lives to be a centenarian. Now, that's the extreme end of the domestic violence and breakdown in relationship spectrum, okay? Which is murder, death. You got lots of varying things in between, okay? You have some circumstances where women go, I don't want to be with you anymore to men, or men go, well, I don't want to be with you anymore, and people are very mature, and they go, well, okay, fair enough, I get it. Not a problem, okay? I have been broken up with before. I've broken up with people before. It is what it is. I never wore it like that. Some people ain't like that, right? Some people get attached. Some people, there are children involved because they really didn't plan it out. And they got into a relationship that involved the child with someone that they may not really know all that well or may not be that compatible with. And then problems ensue. Okay. And then there are people who stay in relationships that are clearly toxic, clearly have issues, but yet they don't leave. And that's what I'm trying to understand. So I want to talk about what's going on with some court cases. And this isn't to shame anybody. This is just because I want to understand, because I don't. Because I've never been in any relationship, as an adult certainly, where anyone is hitting the other person and I stay in that relationship. Not friendship, not nothing. Right? I'm not going to do it. I understand that people are stressed. I understand that people are emotional. I understand that people are angry. But there's something about some of this stuff that I don't understand. And maybe because I'm not a woman, but it's not only women who suffer this. Men suffer it too. There was a case about a couple of years ago where a woman who was spurned, who had an affair with a married man and was spurned when the man went back to his wife and child, she threw acid on the wife and child. Acid, right? How bad mind you got to be to throw acid on somebody? Me, I'm going to give you the cat and nine tails, woman on woman. You throw an acid on people. That ain't no play. You know what I mean? Rock and bottle. Acid, that's maiming you for life. You know what I mean? So anyway, women do it too. I don't get it. Is it that there are a lot of people who are angry? Is it that there are a lot of people who are emotionally stunted and cannot properly express themselves? I'm trying to understand. I know that there's a great deal of anger going on in the Bahamas, not necessarily because it's deserved, but just because a lot of people are not socially mature enough to deal with life as it comes at them. And therefore, they resort to other things that make their capacity to think through things diminished. Okay? So last week, before the Rona took hold, all right, I went to a liquor store to get some liquor because I drink alcohol on the weekends. And a guy came in. I guess he maybe was working at a construction site. I assume because he had on a vest and, work boots. And he's probably in his late 40s. Everybody don't age like me. Like I'm still pretty, right? And cute. I'm 45, right? But everybody ain't like that. Some people look like they, 60 when they're my age. But he comes in. He's clearly not sober. Let's say that. All right. He's slurring. He's stumbling. He's being loud. He cuts in front of everybody on the line, namely me, and goes to the cashier and demands very loudly, not respecting the social distancing norms at all, and screams that he wants a pack of Rothmans. Go ahead, player. I go get your Rothmans. Not a problem. You ain't asked to come in front of me or nothing like this. And no issue. So anyway, he pulls out his whatever it costs for the Rothmans, like $7. I don't know how much Rothmans cost. I think if I remember, he pulled out a $5, but I don't remember exactly. Anyway, he pulls out the $5, puts it on the counter, turns around. The lady goes and gets the cigarettes for him, and he sees the cigarettes there, and he picks them up, and then he says, where's my change? Right? Laced with expletives quite loudly. And these poor young women who work in the liquor store, you know what I mean? I don't know why anyway. And the young lady's like, oh, no, there's no change, because that's how much it cost, right? And he's insistent, yelling at this point that he's owed change. Now, this guy's right next to me, yeah? And like I say, he looks at least like he's older than I am, and acting like a child in public because he's not sober enough to recognize which denomination of bill he gave the cashier. So the cashier starts getting shaky because she's probably like, $1.05, little thing. And he starts turning around, like asking people to bear witness. So he turns around on me. Hey, old boy, she got my chair. Tell her I give it that. And I'm like, look, let me explain. I'm segueing again. It's important that I explain all this. I don't want engagement with nobody, I want to do my work. right? I want to make my money. I want to go home to my family. That's all I want. I ain't asking for no extra around here. I don't need to be engaged. I don't need people to like stop me and want to take pictures and all. I ain't asking for none of that, right? I just want to live my life. Drunk, idiotic nonsense. If I did, I would frequent bars, all right? And nightclubs and whenever y'all let's go trying to kill each other out here in public at whatever it is, right? And my guiding principle when I leave my house every day, just Father God, please bring me home safely. I don't want no trouble with nobody because Nassau full of people who have issues and want to confront you because they believe you need to be involved in their issues. And I don't want to be involved in your issues. And I have a very short temper and I try not to react because you can find yourself in problems around here. Okay? Plus, I don't know who got a gun. Okay? I just assume people got a gun and I don't want no power. I just want to move on. All right? So he turning around on me, freaking out on me, but I must bear witness for him with his denomination. And in my head, I'm like, oh God, please, 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 please. Let this man leave me alone. Let me go about my day. All right? So the father heard my prayer. And the guy turns around on another guy who's sitting there having a drink. Now, this other guy and me are two different people because where I'm like, look, old boy, I don't know. I just came here to get something. I just want to go. I didn't ask for all this to be involved in this episode of your life. I'm a non-playable character, right? I'm just in the background walking around. I don't want to be involved in it, okay? He turns around on the other guy, gets in his face. The guy says, hey, back up off me, dude, okay? Just like, back up off me, bro. This guy, the liquor got to him, I guess. He considers that a challenge. And again, he looks older than I am, looks like in his early 50s. And so he starts rearing up on this guy. This guy and I, as I said, we're different people. This guy takes a bottle and makes it over the drunk guy's head. Okay? And the drunk guy, he went to sleep right there on the floor of the liquor store. And for all I know, he's still there. Because he came in a store too drunk to understand what bill he was going to give the cashier. And this is how I see a lot of things unfold around here that don't need to take place. And so the anger is what I'm trying to wrap my mind around. Why men freak out and why I don't believe you. I'll just, okay. And I'm telling you, I called a friend right after this happened. I was like, I have to tell you what just happened. And he was like, look, I'm seeing this all over the place. Like there's something going on around here. What does Dr. P say? Jezebel spirit? Jezebel spirit. There's a problem. And I say all that to reference this, okay? This is a story in The Guardian. And I need understanding. I really do. It says, woman pleads with judge to release boyfriend she said beat her. I want to say I do understand what's happening, but I'm trying to not box people in and think maybe it's more nuanced than my understanding of it. A woman dropped an assault complaint against her boyfriend yesterday, although she claimed he had hit her multiple times during their relationship. This says, police arrested the man. Those names in the story right now. Police arrested the man after he allegedly punched the woman after he met her in a bar on March 14th. Still, the woman came to court after getting off from work at 6 a.m. to get him out of jail. Magistrate Kendra Kelly asked the woman why she made a complaint. She replied, "When I go somewhere, he hits me." Kelly asked, "Are you aware that a loving relationship does not involve being hit? You know that's not normal, that's abnormal. It shouldn't be in a loving relationship. If a man loves a woman, he's not supposed to hit her for any reason. You realize you can do better than that, right?" The woman replied, "Yes." Kelly asked, "You realize you don't want to have children with someone like that?" The woman agreed. But the woman said she still wanted to withdraw the case. When the magistrate asked her why, she said, "He has kids." The magistrate replied, "He had kids when he hit you, right? That didn't stop him, did it?" The magistrate then chastised the man for his criminal behavior. She said, "Let me make it pellucidly clear to you, sir, that behavior is criminal. That behavior is unacceptable. You are not her father. And even if you were, she's a grown woman. There should be no man putting his hands on any woman for that matter. So because you see her at a bar does not give you the right to hit her. She got off work at 6 a.m. and she comes down to magistrate's court to get you out of jail, a man who's hitting her repeatedly. You don't deserve that. She should leave you right where you are." The man replied, "I know." The magistrate replied, "I hope for her sake, this is the last straw." Now, my understanding is a magistrate cannot proceed with a case if it's a first offense from that complainant, if the complainant withdraws the complaint. But my understanding is that magistrates can proceed with offenses if they repeatedly come before the magistrate and they've established a pattern of behavior. So this woman is in a relationship with this guy. They don't have children yet, right? She goes out. He goes to find her, and he beats her when he finds her out because she belongs to him. I'm trying to figure this one out. She is his property. Explain that one for me. Explain how that's a relationship that works at all. And explain to me how you believe you can beat a woman for going where she wants to go, and she's not your wife. You don't have kids. There aren't these other complications. Not that if she's your wife, you should beat her. But you guys are just dating. Yet you take such possession over this woman's life that you must beat her when she goes out. And that's crazy, right? That's like borderline personality disorder, right? What do you call it when she comes to get him out of jail? What do you call that? Like if I'm going out and you're beating me when I go out, jail is where you belong. What informs you that that's going to be the outcome? Is it that I guess she feels badly for him or badly for his children? He wasn't thinking about his children when he beat you up. That's my thing, right? If you go, same thing with the guy who get knocked out in the liquor store, right? You got to keep the same energy consistently throughout. You understand? So the same energy with which you came and beat this woman, that's the energy you keep and you stand up and you do your time. Because you wasn't worried about no police or court or whatever like that when you was beating on her, right? So then you don't worry about it when they haul you. You go do your time. You wasn't worried about if you can get knocked out, you come in the liquor store freaking out on everybody. When you get knocked out, just deal with it. All right? No, I can read another story for you. We got to go to a break. Let me know. Anybody sending me no message? I can't handle music. Anyway, I'm going to read the other story for you. It's a pattern. This is a pattern. This ain't no isolated incident. It's a pattern. I've seen this over and over and over again. I want to be like, I don't want to like shame anybody, but I want to understand what's happening. What kind of relationships are y'all conducting out here? No relationship I never had ever involved. No conversation about me hitting no girl ever. So I don't understand it. Maybe it's old subculture going on in the Bahamas that I don't quite get. I understand none of it, so I'm asking y'all. Let's take a break, because I can read that. I don't want to understand it. Ain't nobody, y'all listening to me? Let's take a break.
You do double shot decaf cappuccino.
Light roast, Colombian, no milk.
You do vacations your way.
Hiking boots, tent, mountains.
5-star hotels and theater.
And now you can do insurance your way. Online.
Email.
Chat.
WhatsApp.
Or in branch. For home, car, travel, boat, or business insurance, do it anyway with NUA Insurance Agents and Brokers. Visit NUAinsurance.com, call, or stop by a branch today.
I used to think of the bank as my personal ATM machine. If I wanted a new car, new furniture, a weekend trip to Miami, no problem. Just max out the credit card or top up my loan. I was a big baller until I realized that 75% of my salary was going to pay back all those loans. Fidelity's personal financial coaching was the best solution. Fidelity gave me a plan with a debt consolidation loan that has a built-in savings that pays 5% interest. I now only have one low money in my pocket. Give Fidelity Bank a call at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit any of Fidelity's locations or visit a website at fidelitygroup.com.
Burger King Nassau is bringing you the delicious taste of Philly cheese in 3 mouth-watering varieties. Enjoy the great taste of Philly cheese with your choice of flame-grilled beef, crispy chicken, or try out BK's plant-based beef version. BK's Philly cheese has all the fixings you love, including lots of melted cheese, caramelized onions, bell peppers, and mushrooms on a sesame seed hoagie bun. Try the new Philly cheese as a combo or as part of the King's Feast at any of BK's 7 locations. Burger King Nassau, where taste is king.
Celebrate every day like a birthday with Marco's Pizza Carryout Special. Spend less and get more with our large one-topping pizza for only $10.50. Yes, one topping of your choice served on our fresh dough, fresh cheese, and signature sauce. Every single $10.50. Marco's Pizza, where every day something special happens. Every store, every day, the Italian way.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Children are a blessing and should be treated with love and care. They deserve safe, stable, and nurturing relationships, a supportive family environment, and positive social networks. Mothers, fathers, teachers, aunties, uncles, neighbors, Bahamas, let's do our part to stop the physical, sexual, and mental abuse of our children. Make the calls, file the reports, save precious lives. Let's join hands and hearts in child abuse. This message was brought to you by CFAL. Growing wealth for future generations.
Okay. I don't understand. I'll start off. I don't understand why no one will beat no woman. I saw a video the other day where like a woman stabbed a man who was apparently cheating on her. So the story goes, as far as viral, violent WhatsApp videos that are shared around go. I don't get it. I don't get this violence that is going on Like, I don't get that you see her out and you go beat her. I don't get it. I don't understand what really occurred. And what I'm seeing is this ain't no isolated incident. So if we look at just the stuff that's making it to court, this is a frequent thing that these men are beating these women. Now, I never been in no dysfunctional relationship to this extent, to where it come to we beating on each other. Okay? But clearly this is a thing. If what makes it, let's say what makes it to court is half of what happens, then this is a rampant problem. Story. Let me read some, I can read the next story after the break. Let me read some text. All right. I want to understand. I'm not going to lie. I want to understand because I want to know what's going on with these things. All right. And I listen. I want to understand because I have a son, I have a daughter, and I want to make sure that this is something that isn't widespread. It says, Juan, you come on the radio and say that men are hurting women disproportionately, yet you didn't quote any facts other than anecdotal evidence, various statistics. Crisis Center Bahamas, Royal Bahamas Police Force, since you want to be cute and play like you don't understand what's happening. Bahamas Crisis Center, Royal Bahamas Police Force keeps track of assaults, okay? And it happens disproportionately with women. That you felt the need to say that, because I know it's a lot of, some of y'all out there like that who want to play like y'all don't understand reality. That's just sad, right? That's just sad that you know this is a problem disproportionately impacting women, and you trying to say, well, if you can't say facts, then it's not real. But we have facts, A. And B, I'm not saying ignore that it's happening to men. All right. I'm just saying that disproportionately is happening to women. All right. And that's just the facts of the matter. All right. You can talk to the police. You can talk to the crisis center. You can talk to any number of social service workers, et cetera. All right. And so I'm doing that with y'all because that's the clarion call of ignorance, right? So because you can't get out of your own misogynistic worldview, you want to drag me down into it? I'm not going to do it, right? As I said, there's a story where the woman threw acid on the woman who's married to the man she wanted. And in that instance, a woman's hurting a woman and a little boy. Says Michael Pintard needs better advisors. His knee-jerk reaction is to oppose anything Brave Davis says, and understandably, it's what all leaders on both sides have done for all of history. He needs to be different. I don't like his stance on the NGO matter either. They deserve Nobel Peace Prizes for the nature of their work. What does the data say? Yeah, again, I don't get the criminal conspiracy that was being alluded to, but I don't, listen, if you're NGO, I don't care how you feel. If we trying to figure out what happened to our money, it ain't like that. To where your pride and your, how dare you, it ain't like that, it's our money. All right? Flex. When I was offering to pay you to help do this. All right? We appreciate you, but you need to report to us where our money is. All right? Beyond all this rah. Just tell me what you do with the money. That's all. And then we good. All right? All right, we got a break for news. We'll be right back.
Beulah, gal, can you believe this? We are
not the patrol queens of the neighborhood.
We now large and in charge, so we need to check out what's going on in everybody's yard. What about that gun that we know that Junior and his homeboys just ran out? Can we report that too?
Of course we can.
But we could be in deep trouble if they find out.
We need to report what we see, Beulah. When you call Crime Stoppers, they just answer your call in Miami.
So then we can report everything? Guns, where they hiding the drugs, who shoot who part of which gang, or who disturbing the peace with the loud music and the motorcycles.
Then our neighborhood will be the best in the Bahamas, and everybody gonna want to come live here. And then our house price will go up, gal.
So what we waiting on? What's the number?
If you see something, say something. Let us all pitch in and stop the crime before it's your time. Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands. Or text us through the Crack Crime Bahamas app. Stop the crime before it's your time.
Play this record as frequently as possible.
Friday, May 20th, it's time to feel good.
It's Star 106 and Four Walls. Feel Good Friday.
Classic. The Star 106 Anniversary Edition.
Happening at the Four Walls Squash and Social Club Village Road.
It's the after work.
I got so early.
Vintage.
Block party.
Exclusively for the grown and sexy.
With the best in throwback classics.
Happening at the new Outdoor Terrace Bar at Four Walls.
Limited tickets on sale now at the Nassau Guardian and Four Walls for $20 in advance.
Come out early to enjoy the open room bar from 5 to 6 p.m.
This is a strictly cashless party.
So bring your old school dancing moves with your new school payment options.
Feel Good Fridays. Friday, May 20th.
We know how important collecting your money can be to the success of your business. Start your relationship with Fidelity today so that we can show you the many options available to you with our merchant services. From click and pay options online to merchant terminals and e-commerce options. We're here to help your business succeed. For more development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit any of our branches.
The most important thing in life is family. And whenever you need reliable advice, you look to the people you know you can trust. At J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, we earn our clients' trust every day. Whether it's home, motor, travel, or commercial insurance, we've got you covered. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
J.S. Johnson Insurance. Peace of mind.
What's going on, Bahamas? It's your boy, Sawyer Boy. COVID is clearly unpredictable. It doesn't matter how young you are, how old you are. I'm young, and it still put a beating on me. I had no other option but to go to the hospital. I remember the doctor telling me if I had waited one more day, I wasn't gonna come inside here alive. You don't want to send. Vaccines may not stop you from getting COVID, but it can stop you from getting COVID the way I had COVID. You don't want that way.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Revolution here on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM. My name is Juan McCartney. So good to have you with us. We were talking earlier about what may be going on with these domestic violence issues. I don't understand it. I don't have any frame of reference of it. I wasn't raised in an environment where my parents would even argue openly in front of their children. So I don't get it. But going on out here. I'm going to read that next story. This is just two stories. Listen to me. I'm looking at this stuff on a at least weekly basis, a variation on this theme. Now, there may be a lot going on. May be a lot more going on with men than the system is capturing because of particular social biases. In terms of raw data, though, it's adversely going on with women. Okay? Weekly, I see a variation of this theme. Man and woman have some sort of disagreement. Man beats woman. Woman complains about the man. Man allegedly beats woman anyway. Woman complains about the man. Man gets locked up, goes to court, charges be dropped. Because I'm trying to get into their mind, right? I'm trying to get into the mind of the abuser and the abused person. Because clearly, something's broken if you're abusing this woman. I can't be in a relationship. Listen. I can't be in a relationship when you calling me too much during the day. You know what I mean? My wife knows this, right? She can feel free to call me. You know what I mean? But this like check in. And with me, she ain't got to call because she knows where I am. I'm that type of guy. You know, don't call me. Don't hang up too much for where you is. I don't need that stress in my life. Go through your phone and all. I ain't into all that. You know. I had someone I know ask me one time, "Oh, you don't check your wife's phone? Check her phone for what?" You know what I mean? What I must do? Check her phone? No, dog. I know. I ain't got time for that. And I don't want. So I couldn't be in a relationship like this, but clearly something going on. All right. If we hitting each other, or I feel I gotta hit you, I am going to end this relationship. I don't have time for that. Way too many other people to go try and have a relationship with out there to continue a bad one, in my opinion. Anyway, let me read this one for you. Then we talk about it. Woman who claimed man maimed her praises his role in her children's lives. Okay, now this one, I can read this one for you, but I may be able to try to piece this one together in my mind, as sad as it seems. All right. Woman who claimed man maimed her praises his role in her children's lives. A magistrate yesterday warned him, who insisted on dropping a maiming case against her boyfriend, that wasting police time was an offense. Police charged the man after the woman alleged she lost the use of her left eye after he hit her in it on March 20th, 2022. Let me just explain the backstory on this. When the story says he hit her in her left eye, he hit her, allegedly, according to her, in her head so hard that her eye became dislodged from its socket. She had previously experienced damage in that eye, a previous story said, and that incident knocked her eye out of her head, and now she can no longer use that eye. She got one eye. All right. The assault allegedly happened at a pool party after she accused him of flirting with another woman. Investigators issued a wanted poster for the man in connection with the incident on May 9th. So she accused the man of flirting with another woman, and he knocked her in her head. Okay. The man was arraigned before Magistrate Samuel McKinney on Friday and remanded to prison after the court declined to withdraw the case. She returned to court yesterday with her lawyer insisting she had no interest in pursuing the matter. The woman praised the man for taking care of her medical expenses when she took the witness stand yesterday. The woman said, although it was an accident, okay, he still took me to every appointment. He paid for every appointment visit. He bought every medication. The woman said, he plays a huge role in me and my kid's life. My kid's father is not in my kid's life. And anything I ask him for, he's willing to do. The magistrate said, that might be so, but sometimes these matters don't end the way we want them to. He said that while she couldn't reinstate the current repeat of the incident happens. Well, she only got one eye left. The magistrate added that she could end up being charged with wasteful employment of police time if she made another complaint without the intention of following up on it. Okay, this one is multifaceted, so let's break it down. So I ain't calling no names, so I just couldn't say it, right? So he allegedly was at a pool party. She's dating him. She has children for another man. She's dating him. He's at a pool party. Now, I ain't trying to fill in too many blanks. I know where the pool party is. I know who had the pool party. I know he get there. I don't know how she get there. Although in my head, I've already had a whole movie about it. But he's at a pool party. She catches him flirting with another woman at a pool party. Now, flirting to a woman could mean a lot. A man too, but anyway. She accuses him of flirting with another woman. See, you can't accuse me of flirting, right? God. I just talk it. I can't speak to other people. I can't. You know? Anyway. She accuses him of flirting. He hits her in her head so hard that she loses the use of her left eye. We got a caller? Sure. I can circle back to this. And I didn't want to call any names. I don't want to and you can read the story. I don't want to ridicule these particular people. Something wrong with this. This is a relationship that has two people that they probably not going to work through together. We got a call. Let's do it. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Revolution.
Pleasant good afternoon. How you doing today, Juan?
Hey, Anton. I'm good. How's it going?
I'm doing fine. Holding to the grace of God. I didn't want to talk about what you were talking about right now.
No problem. Go ahead.
Make some comments on the things, one or two of the matters you had discussed over the last day or so.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Good. You were speaking about the matter involving the NGOs yesterday, right?
Yes. Right.
And the Prime Minister, Dr. Davis, spoke to it as well in Parliament, right?
Right.
And you were making comments as a result of some of the things that he said.
Right.
Or was it? No, not yesterday. Sorry, Monday. He spoke about it on Monday, and then you spoke about it yesterday. You spoke about Chester.
On Monday.
Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper on Monday. So I want to focus on those two leaders, the Prime Minister and the Deputy Prime Minister. What I wanted to say with regards to the Deputy Prime Minister, you were saying he is not doing enough as it relates to transparency, right, in terms of providing the documents so that you can review it to see what all had been agreed to. Am I correct?
Yeah. I mean, mind you, I think that Cooper's done a good job, but I think he could do more, in terms of transparency. Yeah.
Well, I believe in the public domain, he has been very forthcoming as it relates to information and releasing it in a timely manner, not releasing it before he is able to release it based on protocols and procedures and that kind of stuff. But I want to zoom in on a comment that he made specifically relating to the release of information. He said once the agreement is complete, he will fully release the documents and lay it on the table in Parliament.
Yeah,
and
good, excellent.
And so as it relates to transparency, I don't think you're going to find a more transparent government, especially if you look over the last 5 years of governance in our country. where we didn't get any bit of information. We're still waiting on the reports from the BPL fire with the generators down at Clifton Pier. As a matter of fact, we still waiting on that missing file over there in Grand Bahama with that line grab. But anyway, and then you also spoke about the NGOs. What I wanted to say to you is what you were describing, although the Prime Minister is being as responsible as he possibly can, in my view, and my understanding of the gunning, he's being as responsible as he can with providing the information to the public without putting labels on what the information actually says. You understand what I'm saying? Do you want?
I understand. Yeah.
Right.
I do.
And so he's seeking not to call the names of NGOs because he's been falsely accused of attacking the institutions that provided the support. But providing the support has nothing to do with the Prime Minister executing as the Minister of Finance his responsibility is in reporting to the Bahamian people through Parliament. And so what he was describing and laying out one actually adds up and amounts to criminal behavior. One, that is where you didn't go yesterday in your communications. When you have no level of accountability, when you have the government of the Bahamas saying this was the amount of money that they gave an NGO, when you have the NGO on the next hand saying this is the amount of money that they received from the government of the Bahamas, when you have in between no records of minutes of any meetings held between NGOs and government of the Bahamas officials, an actual loan facility that dictates can you hear me, Juan?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
When you have an actual loan facility that lays out the procedures by which you are to comply with, when you were providing this level of funding to assist Bahamians, and none of that is being complied with, when you have no records to demonstrate, no bank records to demonstrate, no receipts to demonstrate any of the expenditure as it relates to the management of the food program in the country. When you have a government of the Bahamas who is the number one vendor in the country in terms of spending money and in terms of spreading the wealth in the country, when you have that government who has the responsibility to ensure with a $50 million program that it spends as much money with as many businesses as possible to ensure that at a time when COVID was really negative economic impacts on the business community, you have a government spending $50 million. They have a responsibility as much as humanly possible, especially amongst small and medium-sized businesses in the country, and not just major conglomerates in the country. When you add all of these bits and pieces that the Prime Minister laid out in Parliament together, one, not casting any aspersions on the business community because those big businesses are there to do business. It's the government of the Bahamas' responsibility to ensure that the money is spent as fairly as possible. Am I correct?
No, I agree,
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. But I'll say this though: I don't have a problem with. I don't have an essential problem with what you just described. But you saying that the Prime Minister didn't label anything. Listen, when you're the Minister of Finance and you come to me and tell me $10 million vanished. Someone I thinking it get thief, okay? Because you telling me you can't find the $10 million, you're the Minister of Finance. The police need to get called something. That sounds criminal to me, but the report you give me, I don't see criminality outlined.
Let me put a pin right there in something you just said. When the Prime Minister, Minister of Finance, lays on the table in the House all day and acknowledges that $10 million just appears to have vanished because it cannot be accounted for, you expect for the police to be involved. The Prime Minister did also state very clearly in Parliament 1 that after reviewing the preliminary files on the food feeding program from the Ministry of Finance, after they weren't able to get the records, after attempting to get the records over repeatedly to try and piece the puzzles together to tell the full story, he did pass the file over to the Commissioner of Police 1. He did in fact do that. And so Juan, I'm saying to you, Juan, that everything that we are talking about, although we are talking about it in details, it adds up to criminality or the intent of criminality or perhaps even the execution of some crime. We won't know that fully until the police is completed conducting their investigations into the food feeding program, and coupled perhaps with the report that perhaps would come, or a second report that perhaps would come from the Auditor General's office, right? When we are talking $50 million being spent in the country, and we have this level of irresponsibility, this level of mismanagement, this level of no accountability taking place, something has to be wrong with that. And one final point I'd like to make, on the flip side of that whole conversation, right, is this. I want you to take serious note, and I want the Bahamian people to hear me carefully and clearly. It is a very serious indictment on us as a majority. And can you hear me, Juan?
I can hear you. Go ahead, yeah.
Oh, okay, because this is the last part, but this is very important. It is a very serious indictment on us as a majority people, black people in our country, where you have a prime minister and the former prime minister who has so much trust in, and this is not to make it about black and white, but just to speak to the facts of what took place. He placed so much trust in the former chairman of the food feeding network. I don't want to call any names, but you understand who I'm speaking about. Of the former chair lady of the feeding program, that he placed $50+ million in her hands, and he would be able to, in his mind, just turn around and pull all of the protocols, all of the government officials, and all of the accounting management systems out that would normally be a part of any amount of money that the government spent, even $10, when he placed $50 million in our hands. That's a serious indictment of how we feel about our own kind and our own color. One, give me an example of my color in this country at any given time in our country.
Of having $50 million placed in their hands?
Place $50 million in their hands and essentially telling them, you go and do with it as you see fit. And just bring me back some results at the end of the day. Where have you ever seen that happen in this country? At what point have you ever seen that happen?
I don't know what country you live in. I see that all the time.
In this country, Juan?
Anton, what are you talking about? BPL didn't spend $100 million on generators? They all black,
No,
right?
No, Juan. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying big monies have never been spent in the country. I'm saying to you, Juan, there were no protocols, there were no accounting systems, there were no management systems in place when that $50 million was released to the individual. Tell me of a situation where you have ever seen such a case exist in our country. When that money was spent with BPL1, you had the board involved, you had the CEO involved, you had the general manager involved, you had the accounting department involved, you had the reporting systems that they had to conform to for the loan or for the persons who provided the loan to the government of the Bahamas in order to purchase those generators. You had the traditional management systems between Wärtsilä and the government of the Bahamas, and so on. That is a totally different kettle of fish, one. We have never had a situation where any government has released almost $100 million, $50 million, one, plus to an individual with no kind of procedures in place. That tells a serious story and is a serious indictment on politicians and the majority in this country. Thank you for the opportunity, bro. God bless.
Okay. All right, Anton. Thanks. I didn't want to cut Anton a thing, but a lot of that mischaracterizes the situation. Now, I'm not shielding for anybody. I like y'all, like some of the NGOs, but I don't care if people are asking y'all to provide documentation if you feel some type of way about it at all, right? So I want to be clear about what happened. Nobody just released $50 million to Susan Larson of the West and go, hey, just, do whatever, The money was released incrementally over 70 weeks. Does that mean there shouldn't be accountability? Absolutely not. Does that mean that we don't need to know what happened to the money? Absolutely not. But no one just gave Susan Wesco $50 million and was like, hey, whatever happens, happens. It didn't work like that. All right. And I've seen government give out many tens of millions of dollars before and not have a great deal of accountability for what occurred. Okay. Okay. We were talking about this domestic violence issue. But Anton said something about the new information to me. All right. So if that's true, that would be interesting. Also, I will say again, if you tell me $10 million is missing, I'm thinking something untoward must have happened. You're labeling it as something where money vanishes. In my world, when money vanishes, people call the cops. You table the report. The report does not say $10 million vanished. And so I just want I want the facts to be consistent with what is being put out there. All right, that's what I'm saying. So I don't see the body. The report didn't show me like where no body was, that a murder happened, and it didn't show me like there was a gun somebody found either. You understand? So that's me. I want to know what happened to the money, but when I read the report, I don't see nobody go, yeah, somebody pocketed this money and the money gone from a treasury account to this bank account and it vanished. It wasn't like that. We got a call. Good afternoon. Welcome to the revolution.
Hey, Vaughn, what's up, brother?
Hey, I'm good, man. How's it going?
All is well. $53 million. That's plenty money. That's a big figure to call, Mr. McCartney. That's a very big figure to call, and to call a figure like that. But my biggest question to you, right? I can cut it short. Why these people don't want to come forward if they're innocent?
Yeah.
I mean, boy, listen. If the hypothetically, if they call you right now, they say, Mr. McCartney, we need to see you by CDU, by CID, in reference or something. I sure you good, especially if you know you're innocent. All right.
Yeah.
If you want, if the NGOs, and I know one or two of them, they are good people that I know, and honest people that I know personally. If those NGOs don't want people that have conspiracy theories, because, one, I could be honest with you, everybody in this country, they, allegedly take the money because ain't nobody coming forward to clarify their side of the story.
Yeah, but that's what when you hear the Prime Minister talk about $10 million missing, that's what people can draw the conclusion of that,
So what do you expect for the average Bahamian person to think or how he's supposed to feel about the situation? Because the simple fact is, I keep telling people I would never want to say on a radio that someone must be convicted for something if evidence is in there. But on the other hand, if you know that you're innocent and that's your name, that's NGO it's a organization what deals with money. All right, let's get that straight. They deal with money, and in this situation, they dealt with plenty of money. So if you know that all your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed, why not come forward and say what is what, who spent this, where's the receipts? But God, my conspiracy theory, you know why I don't believe some of them want to come forward?
Mm-hmm.
Because the simple fact is they don't have no receipts.
Well, I really do need to understand. Right.
They don't have no accountability, nothing. It's just like saying, hypothetically, boy, this is $1 million. I need you to get $1 million worth of canned goods. Okay, well,
right.
I never asked one for the receipt, so well, boom, that one finished. So then,
right.
It goes on, and that's the conspiracy theory that I come up with. Is somebody hiding something, boy? Is something being hid? And until the NGOs or whoever the NGOs are allegedly being accused for this, until they come forward and some clarification about where this money gone. My conspiracy theory is somebody take the cookie, who stole the cookie or the cookie jar, my brother.
Yeah. I mean, that's certainly, you could certainly, yeah. In the absence of any information to the contrary, a lot of people will draw the conclusion.
And people got to understand, I wouldn't say that. I would never put in my mind that the Progressive Liberal Party on a witch hunt. Every day you talking about how spending your money, you love to talk about that. You got to spend your money, so you don't want to know where the money going. That's
all right, my brother. We got to take a break. I want to know what happened to the money too, because throughout all this, ain't nobody came forward and go, you know what, we never got any money. That's never been said. So it was $53 million, and I want to know where it all went to. And I don't think that's a tall ask of any organization, because they're used to public accountability, for certain. All right, we'll take a break. We'll go with that.
For 25 years, Advantage Insurance has provided coverage for your most prized possessions, offering insurance plans to cover your vehicle, home, business, and boat with customized options that work with your budget. Now, Advantage says thank you to all our loyal customers and business partners over the past 25 years. Call 356-0285 or visit Advantage Insurance on Collins Avenue today. When every dollar counts, count on Advantage. Celebrating 25 years of service.
At Ron's Electric Motors, they repair and rewind all major brands of electric motors, including water pumps, generators and the generator's back end, welding machines, electric lifts, air compressors, battery chargers, and more. They're equipped to handle up to 850 kilowatts and rewind up to 450 horsepower motors. They're conveniently located on the corner of Wolf and Clarence Roads and are open weekdays 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturdays till noon. They offer 24 hours emergency assistance. You can reach them at 242-356-0249.
The city of Miami is waiting for you, and Island Pay wants to take you there. Yes, you heard that correctly. Island Pay is giving away 5 priceless trips to Miami for 2 people. Just for using your dollars you spend gets you a chance to win. Whether it's on groceries, gas, diapers, clothes, gifts, online, and others, it's all counting and getting you closer to an unforgettable experience in Miami. Don't have an Island Pay MasterCard yet? No problem. Get yours today. And Island Pay will give you $15 back. Island Pay, a better way to pay, a better way to win. Promotion running March 21st to May 18, 2022. Conditions apply. Visit islandpay.com to learn more.
You do coffee your way. Double shot decaf, cappuccino.
Light roast, Colombian, no milk.
You do vacations your way.
Hiking boots, tent, mountains.
5-star hotels and theater.
And now you can do insurance your way. Online.
Email.
Chat.
WhatsApp.
Or in branch. For home, car, travel, boat, or business insurance, do it anyway with NUA Insurance Agents and Brokers. Visit NUAinsurance.com, call, or stop by a branch today.
We were talking about these domestic violence cases, alleged domestic violence, or however you want to characterize it. And we were also talking about we touched on the some of the things we were supposed to get into, but we circle back to the food program, which is an issue. I want to know where the money went. Like in fact, if the minute, okay, so let's back up. So firstly, Philip Davis is our prime minister, and he's also our minister of finance. As minister of finance, he has constitutional. As prime minister, he has constitutional obligations. As minister of finance, he has constitutional obligations. The only other member of cabinet who has constitutional obligations set out in law is the attorney general. Okay, so prime minister, minister of finance, attorney general. That the Constitution speaks to those. He has a duty as prime minister to manage the affairs of the country. He has a duty as minister of finance to be accountable for our money, okay? Because it's held in trust to them. So the prime minister, the minister of finance could come to parliament every time and talk about the food program. That is his right, okay? And in fact, his duty. When the Minister of Finance speaks, he needs to be speaking to how our economic and financial affairs are being conducted. I won't begrudge the Prime Minister that at all. So you'll never hear me go, Prime Minister need to let it go, da-da-da-da, Minister of Finance, da-da-da. Never. It's our money. That he's concerned that he can't track $10 million is perfectly legitimate. Okay? For you to say you can't find $10 million and it looks like that just can ride because somebody don't want to free up the information, that's the issue with him, and perhaps he didn't go far enough. I have the issue with the NGOs. But at the end of the day, an NGO only exists in the Bahamas through statutory law. Okay? You don't just get up and be like, I want an NGO and I'll do what the hell I want. It don't work like that. You have to abide by the law. Okay? Otherwise, you can't have no NGO. So I need to understand where the money went. I'm interested in the feelings. All right? I really don't care. I just want to understand what happened with the money. Because at the end of the day, let's not play cute. We all understand accountability. Okay? Now, a lot of people who sit in Parliament don't appear to with public disclosures, but most of us do. Yeah? When we were raising money for food during the pandemic, ain't nobody asked me for nothing, you know. My boss just gave me money. We raised well over $20,000, right? My boss gave me money. Pillars of the community gave me money to go get food vouchers. All right. I could have been like, you know what? Don't worry about it. I just can go give out the money. Trust me on this one. But I didn't do that. I said, you know what? I'm going to go make sure I can track all of this. So I'm going to get vouchers for my receipts from SuperValue. And that way, everyone could understand here's where the money actually went. Because you ain't gonna front on me like I did something wrong and I ain't got receipts to back it up. So I'm waiting for the NGOs to go, hey man, see the thing here, right? So I'm waiting for the auditor's report to see if that materializes. Now, when I was doing all that with the food, my wife was like, well, why are you getting, why are you so meticulous about it? I said, because I don't want nobody come run out around my head. To this day, nobody asked me to show them no proof of what I did with the money, But bet I could show them they come ask me tomorrow. You ain't gonna freak out on me, son. All right? You ain't gonna talk about me like that. Not other things you could talk about me, but not that. When we were raising money for toys for Christmas, I ain't asked people to come bring me cash because I don't want you. I don't want to handle your cash like that. All right? And even when I was doing the food drive and people wrote me checks and stuff like that, I was nervous about that. I said, man, let me go convert this into vouchers and deal with it like that. Okay. Now I couldn't tell you everybody who I give the voucher to. All right. I don't got a record of all the names like they saying they want the NGOs have. But I could show you where I purchased the vouchers, and I personally never went and cashed nothing or got nothing. When we were raising funds for the toy drive, I asked people to go to Kelly's. Certain people came to me, and let me show you something. Certain people wrote checks to me when we were raising the money for food and gave it to my wife, right? And probably about 4 or 5 months later, someone who wrote a check and gave it to my wife, they came back and they go, well, Juan didn't cash. What happened? Juan never. And my wife came and asked me about it. And I said, no, tell them I destroyed their check. All right. I didn't need it. And so I destroyed it. So don't worry about it. I should have told you that I wasn't going to cash the check. It was like $100 and I didn't need it because I got straight otherwise. When we were raising money for toys for Christmas, I said, come bring me no money. Okay. I said, I contacted Kelly's and I explained to them what I wanted to do. And I asked people to go to Kelly's and donate whatever money people did give me. I went and gave it to Kelly's. This was thousands of dollars. Okay. We went, Preston, PJ Fuego, you out there, shout out. We went and we got the toys all through Kelly's. They could tell you every single thing that we got. And there was money left over because I'd satisfied toys for everyone who requested because I made people email. And that money sat on that account on Kelly's for a year. They would call me every 30 days because they want clear the accounts and say, you have a balance of several $100s on this account. Did I go to Kelly's and go buy a barbecue grill and love myself? Ain't nobody asked me for no proof or nothing. Nobody. And I said, I tell you what. And so Susan from Kelly's called me and she said, look, there's a you need to get rid of this money. We need to clear the account. So I said, okay, you know what? I want to do something with a charity. And so we did that, like some children's homes and stuff like that. They went and they got linens and kitchen ware and stuff like this. And we got the money's gone. I ain't spending it on me. And I'm small fry. You think somebody can give me $10 million and I can't tell you where every cent went? We got to come back to reality now. All right? $10 million. I can need for everybody to get together and explain what happened to the $10 million. Okay? Other than that, it's a problem. That's why I don't take money from people. All right. This says the PM uses parliamentary privilege and then ran for the hills. The police should have finished their investigation before any comments were made publicly. Now the investigation is tainted. Very sloppy on the part of the PM. This is the VAT revenue is over $1 billion a year. It's used for any and everything with no accountability in its spending. Yeah, I mean, look, you have organizations that get all types of money. The Auditor General don't get to them till years later. I don't know what social services did with all of its budget. Y'all know? I don't know what the Public Hospitals Authority do with all the money. Y'all like, let me know if y'all know. All the hurricane relief and all that. I don't know what they did with all this money. They're supposed to have audited financials, but y'all know, y'all certain. It says, go to the police, but go with your lawyer, though. No one with sense goes to police without a lawyer. You should always have a witness who's on your side. Plenty of innocent people lock up in jail. People think the police and court system fair. It's fair to the rich and powerful only. Nah. This is one because of the FATF and the OECD, money in the Bahamas can't hide. Every cent of that money can be found by the distributor of the funds who received money from the government. Yeah, absolutely. You shouldn't be able to mask any money. I've been to the police before without a lawyer, but they ain't cautioned me or nothing. They were just like, I won't come talk to you. Or I won't talk to you. So I had Paul Fernandez tell me come talk to him. It wasn't nothing. They wanted me to help them with media stuff. I got him with no lawyer because you can't possibly be calling me but no crime, right? Solomon Cash, all he got, I need to come see my guy. I go, all right, now. Now, if some heat out there, you know, but me, okay. That's how I walk around comfortable. I ain't money like that. All right. This says one an NGO had $2 million in a bank account that they forgot. Are you kidding? Who don't remember $2 million in the bank? Yeah, I never quite understood that one, to be perfectly honest. Says, good afternoon, Montel DeWitt. The PLP is so transparent. I wanted to ask the PLP to say why the baseball stadium is costing the Bahamian public dollars. Yes, exactly. Tell him go on every talk show and ask about it like he's in with a food program. Yep. All right, let me do some of your texts. I probably won't be able to finish my thoughts on this domestic violence issue, but this isn't the last time I'm going to visit this because I'm not trying to shame nobody or nothing like this. But if we keep acting like this normal, we're going to find ourselves in a much worse place in the coming years. I mean, to diss nobody out there. Everybody's take heart when you're talking about their country or whatever. I've watched documentaries about countries in Central America, like why they have a lot of this big immigration problem is because in several South American countries, particularly those that are predominantly Catholic, now the Catholics can get mad, whatever. They have major issues with men committing violence against women. Okay? And if you think our laws don't go far enough to protect women, they have very few protections for women in those countries. And that's why they ask all the other countries to sign on to these conventions, because they want to be able to go to these countries whose populations dwarf ours. but still don't have protections in law for a lot of the things to do with women in relationships, particularly married women. All right, and say, well, look, everybody's on board. This is the new norm. Let's all get on board together with it. Immigration problem because a lot of women are fleeing their homes with their children because of violent things to them. And because of how their court system works, a lot of the women end up not pursuing the cases. Okay? So we can't continue to normalize this because even though we think it's bad now, it could get a lot worse. All right? We don't want to just have a culture where not only women, but people are in danger in relationships, and we figure that's the norm. Because I don't care what daughter I give away to you. You touch her, I can get involved. I ain't go, oh, what you do to make him? No, it ain't gonna be like that. Good day, Juan. Happy to hear you, and you're doing much better. Missed the beginning of the show. Hope this is Open Mic Topics Day. My questions are, what are the Minister of Education plans or comments about COVID spreading in the school system? In light of 4 schools closing recently. I've never heard. Maybe I missed her. Well, the Ministry of Health spoke to it, and they said they don't see community spread within schools. Is the Minister of Health planning to introduce shots for kids for free for those parents interested? Interesting. Good afternoon, Juan. Do you recall just recently lawyer Christina Galano said over 90% of the females usually refuse to go forward with their complaints? That's crazy. And see, this is why I want to explore this more deeply, because just from this one case of this one who got an eye knocked out, a lot of things come to mind. So normally when you are in some sort of altercation or fight or whatever like that, you're angry and emotions take hold. And this guy hit me and I want to be, I'm going to make him pay. I'm going to go to the police. You call the police, a couple of days go by, the anger fades, the pain fades, and you start to reflect on it in a different light sometimes. Oh, maybe it wasn't that bad. Well, he did hit a boy. I don't get the eye thing, though. You only got 2 of them, beloved. Yeah, you only have 2. You got 1 left. He hit me. Maybe it wasn't that bad, right? So, and if he hit me, anyway, I don't mean to do this to women, but I've heard this, the women go, well, I was at fault too, because I know he don't like when I go out, and I know if I go out, he's make noise, so I shouldn't have been out. People start rationalizing these things, right? But, he pays my rent, and if my children they need new shoes for school, he right there, and my kids, their daddy don't do nothing for them, and he really take care of me, and we only just fight once in a while, and da-da-da-da. Like you start making rationalizations. So you rationalize your pain, your trauma among whatever you feel this person is doing for your life. So he knocked my eye out, but he took me to all my hospital appointments. He paid for all the medicine. He had to do that. There must be some good in him. All right. He knocked my eye out, but my kids, their daddy don't do nothing for them. I don't make enough money to take care of them by myself. He helping me take care of them, X, Y, Z. You start to rationalize things. Both these people, the one who got her eye damaged, the guy who allegedly did it, they need, and we've bottled up all of our trauma and hurt and generational pain or whatever the hell you want to call it. And it's bubbling up in violent episodes that are unnecessary, and we're going to end up a lot of times hurting people that we actually care for. Do some more text messages. Hi, Juan McCartney. I told you yesterday the PLP obsessed with his food program because the woman in charge was white. Anton just proved my point. I mean, that's... Come on. Like, black people don't get entrusted with tens of millions of dollars every day. Since Anton is off restriction for a while now. Good afternoon, Juan. I think the PM is being careful not to meddle in any possible police investigation if that report was handed over to the police. I think an investigation will be carried out. Now the media can find out from the police if any investigation has started. I mean, okay. I didn't finish the entire report. Where is their criminal activity implied in this report? I see the implication of a serious lack of accountability and due diligence and corporate governance. But where the criminality is, all right, let me see. This says, Anton. Jeez, Anton like triggers something deep within some of you. So Mr. Davis is berating the NGOs, but his government is not following the law in regards to the e-procurement. It's the law and they're simply refusing to follow it. Wow. Yep. They are not being fully transparent with the e-procurement. Juan, that feeding NGO program, I thought it was supposed to be not-for-profit, but she got millions in administrative fees and she got $7,000 a month plus perks. So that made her a government contract worker. Juan, you don't think so? She was working for the government. And what I think is she was working for the government. You're getting paid by the government to run a government program. You work for the government. Now, whether you want to parse over what's permanent and impenetrable and all this yada yada, if she falls under general orders, that's different. It says, I say PM Davis is slapping up and abusing his parliamentary privilege to cast aspersions. Either charge the concerned persons or stop slapping up. The opposition and media should realize the game's being played. It says, great show as usual. If I send my girl to the food store with $400, I want to know where the money gone. Yeah. $400? Boy. Yeah. That's a lot. I shoot him for about $250 every 10 days, if I could get away with that. One of the members of parliament who didn't, I lie. You're gonna need $250, but maybe every 7 days, if you got kids. One of the members of parliament who didn't disclose, don't have anything to hide. Why didn't they disclose? Get us in check-in is what I think it is. And then you want to make excuses because why you in check-in? One, why they don't just say they bust up some of the money because it's painfully obvious that's what happened and they can't explain it good enough. Tell the truth, shame the devil. It says, don't forget the story about the girl who lured her ex-boyfriend to her apartment under false pretenses. Her friend then jumps out and starts beating the ex-boyfriend with a baseball bat. The girlfriend got another baseball bat and joined in. The ex-boyfriend managed to get away. When examined, he had 2 broken legs. How hard you got to hit someone to break their legs? This reportedly happened 2 weeks ago. I do remember that. All right. I'm not saying women don't commit violence against men at all. I'm just saying a lot of what I see going through the court system is predominantly women. Juan, you know how ridiculous that sounds, someone telling you they can't find $10 million? That sounds like more than jail time to me. Stay away from hogfish. Loose your stomach and have you hallucinating like you're crazy. Hogfish? Okay. Got it. Stay away from hogfish. That's the takeaway from today's show. All right, we're going to keep following these developments. We're going to talk more about national issues as we move forward. And, you know, the food program thing is a thing. The Prime Minister has a thing that he is concerned about it in particular. And that's okay. That's okay that you want to understand what happened to the money. That's perfectly fine. That's your job. All right? Just, I want to make sure that if you're saying these things that make it sound like darkness is going down, we need to understand exactly what's informing that. All right, we got to go. You guys take care out there. Have a great day, Bahamas.